All right. We know what the sound of that shitty music means. It's time to start the Overdose talk show. It's November 1st, 2015. It is a shitty, rainy, cold night here in New Orleans. It's like 60, something like that. It seems cold, though. Like 2 months ago, you couldn't shift your weight on while you're sitting on the fucking couch without pouring sweat. So this shit seems freezing at this point. Andrea and David Box, I guess, are working on getting set up to join the show. We had some power outage and shitty problems like that. So they'll be joining us soon. All right. The Truth Movement. What is it? Where did it go? What happened? I remember a few years ago really feeling like I was sort of part of something. Like I was like, and it was this consolidated group that we shared an agenda and a political and philosophical viewpoint, and it's become so splintered and weirdly fractured that I have no idea what the fuck it was or what it is now or what it's supposed to come of it or anything. It used to be such a big part of my identity too. When I used to use Facebook and shit like that, primarily to post shit about fluoride, here's Illuminati symbolism in the halftime show. And you do that, and I would just felt like I was some kind of really half-assed crusader, just pumping that, and half of it I didn't even read. It would just be like, yeah, look at this, you fucking idiots. I told you. Look at this thing that says I'm right, and this thing that says I'm right, and this thing that says I'm right. And I started to realize after a while, when I was honest with myself, sometimes I didn't know nearly as much as I thought I did, and other times I was just alienating people and just fucking making myself, an awkward person to be around and talk to. When you get that tunnel vision, like fucking laser sights on this topic, it can really become, it can just make. It has a weird reverberating effect socially. It can make people nervous to talk to you. And if they're not, they're just bored by you and they're not interested in anything you have to say. Or they're, philosophically opposed to you to the point that they're just sitting there bubbling, waiting for a chance to somehow put you down or scream at you in an argument. And it just got really old. And then as I've really started to do earnest research into a lot of different topics and not kind of have on the blinders of anything that disagrees with this is trying to discount it and trying to, somehow debunk what we're doing. I found a much more nuanced, I guess, world than I thought there was. It seemed so black and white for a while. And I think was probably true for a lot of us who got into the, social networking truth movement game. And, I don't think it got a lot of us anywhere. I think, like I said, it almost just became an incestuous conversation because the tactics of the truth movement for so long were so antagonistic and in your face, as opposed to getting people into a real conversation, making them like you, and then maybe actually want to listen to what you have to say, using a little bit more of your personality and your ability to reason in the long run, because what we were all doing for a long time is it just turned out to be really unproductive. That's my comment on that. Where's the truth movement? What is it? Is it even a thing anymore? I don't know. But since Andrea and David Box were having some problems getting on the whatever the fuck Skype and shit, I decided to have some people call in and help me direct the show a little bit and just kind of see where their minds are at. And first I got Nate out in Illinois. Nate, hello?
Hey, what up?
Hi, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
I got, you know what? I'll tell you how I'm doing. I'm in that weird limbo where you've just recently had your last court date and you have a long time till your next one, but it's just weighing over your head all the fucking time, you know what I mean? When you leave court, when you leave court or probation or some shit like that, that's the best feeling in the world, because you're like, this is the longest possible time I have this year to not be back in this fucking shithole, you know? And I'm kind of in that period right now, but then when I go back home to Chicago, I've got 2 trials, 2 consecutive days in 2 different counties. So that's, I'm a little bit fucked up and stressed out and shit. But what's going on with you?
Not much. Been doing a lot of working. Don't have the internet right now. Haven't been able to keep up on things.
But you were telling me about some Facebook argument you had earlier. Don't you have Facebook somehow on your phone or some shit?
Yes. Actually, before I even bring that up, I want to say something about the truth movement. You were talking about that. It seemed to me that kind of like bitching about trying to get the truth fizzled out, and there was always like anybody who was in the truth movement, they wanted the truth, but we all had like an underlying political agenda, if you will, or preference. Not an agenda, a preference, you know. And a lot of people are like, you know, people that were listening to like Alex Jones, kind of a more conservative guy, and then you had people that were more like socialists listening to I don't know, Rosie O'Donnell or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's what I found out about myself as time went on. I started noticing like I would have kind of gut reactions to things that I don't even like. You know, I'd have negative gut reactions to things. And I realized I was being influenced almost subconsciously by kind of the religious aspect of the truth movement, and it was shit I don't even actually believe in. You know what I mean? You were there on the show the one time where we had the long conversation on abortion that me and you kind of both got turned around on, and there was things like that would get all up in arms about, and then think about it really and be like, you know what? I don't even actually care about that. Like, what?
I don't even belong in this room. Why are these people talking to me? Fucking, I'm out of here.
Yeah, and so, and especially from stuff like Alex Jones, where he doesn't really present it as like a religious show or anything, but the undertones are really strong there, you know.
Oh yeah,
and it's very, very prevalent.
Onward, Christian soldier.
Right. Yeah. And that's what's weird. You know, you were talking about earlier about when we talked before the show about people who are really anti-Christian now or something, or what the hell were you talking about?
Well, I wouldn't say a lot of people are anti-Christian. I just think there's a big mix of people, and I think people are kind of whoever you are and whatever you are into. There's like a separation going on of people. Some of us are actually lightening up. Like I'd say, how you're kind of saying, like, yeah, you've learned a little bit more, and you're tuning out to some things, and more things you're concerned with. You're just more relaxed of a person. Some of us, like, there's a big split in people where some of us are actually really relaxed, where we used to be very strong-headed about things.
Yeah.
And then there's other people that are becoming very potent in their arguments, whatever they believe. And I think that's like a big split nowadays, is either you're fucking hardcore or you're not, you know?
Yeah, and that's where I think I lost a lot of friends and opportunities to influence people if I really wanted to, was in that sort of hard-headed approach. Whereas now, you know, I'll have more of the, well, you know, I don't understand where you're coming from. Can you explain it to me? Whereas before, I would just write people off that didn't agree with me.
Yeah, fuck. Actually, I should kind of like read you this conversation with this guy. I took screenshots and he ended up deleting it Because I don't know, he's a fucking prick.
I like when you get really mad in a fucking Facebook or some shit argument, and you take you know the guy's gonna pussy out, so you take screenshots like that's gonna prove something to somebody. Like, I totally got this guy.
What happened was he deleted it. Like, after I said something to try to get him to talk more and open up and not be such a dickhead.
Yeah.
He like deleted everything, and it was like, ha, and it opened another tab. So I like tagged him in it just to try to get him to keep talking. So I like put the pictures up with these screenshots and was like, come on, keep talking to me. Don't just chalk me up to whatever you said and end it there. Come on, let's talk about it, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's
really just rude.
Dude, that's why I stopped doing that shit on the internet, because it just doesn't go anywhere, and people are like, arrogantly like, well, how about this? And posting a link to an article. Like, I'm not reading your shitty article. Fuck off. I don't care. Well, I already think what I think.
Articles don't think much anyway.
Right, and I'm not going to sit there and then take the article apart paragraph by paragraph and show you why it's stupid. I don't care.
I feel like sometimes I should chime in on this stuff, because even though there's just like...
So what got you...
I feel like the more people see kind of stuff and nobody's there to say, hey, but what about this? Like, you just kind of get into this. And like I'm saying, where people are more relaxed or you're hardcore into it. So you're seeing these like little images of things, and you're not really reading the article, but every day you're on the social media and these ideas pop up and they're the same ideas. You kind of start following that even though you don't read into it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think like maybe I should just go ahead sometimes and try to stir the pot.
Yeah. What was the argument that drew you in?
It was basically about like 3 Republican Christians that wouldn't attend some type of event for like senators in the morning, and it was because a Hindu guy there was saying prayer. So they were like, fuck this, I'm not going to go. This is, to us, this is a Christian nation. We're Christians. We feel we shouldn't have to deal with that. We're not going. And somebody posted up an article about it, and they were like, well, where's religion's freedom now? And I was like, well, it seems that these senators use their religious freedom to just not go,
Yeah.
And they kind of stirred some shit.
Why are they having this prayer go on in the first place?
Well, that's the thing I don't understand. In all honesty, I thought church and state were supposed to be separate. So I don't know if this is like a private thing that people are doing, or this is just like I honestly don't even know what the event is. I probably should have read into that a little more and figured out what the fuck it is. If it's like something where senators have to be there, and if they do have to be there, no sort of prayer should be taking place anyway.
Yeah, but a lot of people would make the argument there's a lot of Christianity written into the ritual with our government already, I mean...
Oh, yeah, there is, but there's also, like, so when you swear to the Bible in court, the only reason you're swearing to that is not because the government is Christian, but because you are. You know what I mean? You have to swear an oath to something that you hold a strong belief in. So if like a Muslim becomes president or whatever, and they have to swear an oath in, they're going to place their hand on the Quran. They're not going to place their hand on the Bible. You know what I mean? It's based on what that individual is. It's not actually that. There are a lot of Christians in, but that's because that's who's being voted in. If you were to start getting a lot of Muslims, you would see a change. You know what I'm saying?
So if you're a Hindu and you're being tried for murder, do they have you swear on the Bible, or is it the fucking whatever the fuck?
Honestly, I don't even... It'd be cool to talk to a lawyer and ask him, because I don't even know if they swear on Bible or anything like that anymore in court.
Yeah, I don't know. See, I'm such a fucking militant that my lawyers will never have me testify ever. So I've never had to do it. Every lawyer I've had is gonna be like, yeah, I'm not gonna put you on the stand. I don't think that could do us any fucking good whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I might get angry and just start yelling at whatever situation I'm in, and be like, y'all don't understand. Fuck y'all.
Yeah. It's not. I don't know. Yeah, I guess I give myself away pretty easily. I just can't stop. Dude, when I'm in court for 2 minutes, I have to be in, like, you know when, like, the Karate Kid catches the fly with chopsticks? Like, I have to be in, like, that level of focus to not say fuck for 2 minutes. You know, because I'll just say, you know, just without thinking, I'm so afraid of just saying, what was that shit you just said? Or something, you know, like, just anything that I say 50 times a day, you know, and I don't know, it's extremely difficult to hold it together in a courtroom for even a couple minutes. So, yeah, I don't blame my lawyers. I don't blame them.
Well, the whole court itself is a very cold thing, and it's just, it could draw a lot out of anybody, you know what I mean?
Holy fuck. Yes, I know what you mean. Oh, my God.
Why are you writing down everything I say? Stop that. Can you read that back? Why are you writing down everything I say? Stop that.
And why is this 120-pound little fucking twerp telling you to put me in jail? The fuck is going on? This 24-year-old little faggot in his fucking ill-fitting suit. When his slick hair, you know, the prosecutor's always like 2 years younger than you. Really irritating little fucking piece of shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Every time I see a prosecutor, I always imagine like some wristed fucking skinny ass, big headed motherfucker with a comb over and shit.
Judge, are you aware of this you know, the defendant has a record going back to 2002, including battery and blah 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 blah. It's like, what do you care? What's wrong? I didn't do anything to you. I always look at the guy too while he's doing that shit, and I'm just like, that is really as sophisticated as my thinking is on the situation. I just look at him like, the fuck did I do to you? Why are you fucking with me, dude? Can you not be cool for fucking 2 minutes? You don't have to say that shit. The fuck is wrong with you?
That might work if you were like writing him a check right then and there. What are they paying you, bro? I got 2 times that.
Yeah. Oh, looky here. Andrea and David Box.
Oh
my. Andrea, you sound horrible.
Thank you.
No, you're heavily distorted.
All right, we're figuring it out.
David Box, what do you got?
This is what I got. How do I
sound? You sound great.
How do I sound now?
You sound horrible. Turn down. David Box, I bet you sound almost as good as you look.
Oh, my. I highly doubt that right now.
All right, we got Nate on the line. You guys, Nate, what else you got for us tonight? Anything cool or what? What's on your mind?
Nothing cool. Like I said, the internet's been down. I've kind of just been constantly working. Would you like me to talk about work? I'm working on a big church and it's set on fire. That's something.
All right, go on.
There's not much to say about it, man. It's just it's so weird. So I took acid the other night and realized that I put a sticker on the back of my truck that is like a little clown face that's made up of flames. And then I go to work at this church, and my company just so happens to start a small fire in a section of the church. Now, it's a big ordeal with the insurance and everything. And then I realized I probably look like a fucking pyromaniac with the sticker on the back of my truck.
Yeah, plus you just did acid, so you're thinking all weird.
Yeah,
going like,
exactly.
Dude, are they gonna fucking think that I did this on purpose because I got flames?
And then you start wondering if maybe you did do it on purpose.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't do it. It was an employee of mine.
But did you
come up with though? Did I tell? Was I like all Charles Manson? Like, you do that shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just subconsciously fucking willed him to do it. You did like a Hannibal Lecter where he makes that guy swallow his own tongue in the next cell. You just talked to the guy all low all night, and then he went and lit a church on fire. Did you guys get charged with a hate crime, or was this a white church?
Actually, it's a Hispanic church, majority Hispanic.
Oh yeah, dude. They need to be put in their place, if you ask me.
They're asking for a hate crime.
They're basically begging for it. Yeah, they really are.
No, they seem like great people, honestly.
Hey,
it just sucks.
Nate, did you hear about the European Union Parliament thing with Edward Snowden?
No, I did not. Clue me in, please.
Andrea and David Box,
Yes.
you guys ready?
Yeah,
You
we're
guys
right.
all
How
good
do I
and set
sound?
up? You're fine now.
Okay.
Oh,
good.
sweet. Do I
Okay.
still sound handsome?
Yes, you sound absolutely dapper.
Awesome.
You boys.
The European Union Parliament basically said, we don't want none of our members to extradite this Snowden character should he, pop up in any of your countries. And Andrea, I don't know if you got to the bottom of this, but I was reading different things in different places, and a couple people said, this is not, they don't really have authority to do this. It's basically like making a suggestion. Or is this
Yeah.
like is there any...
No,
so
you were right.
Yeah, so the countries don't really have to comply with this. This is basically, they had a big grand, it came right down to the wire, 285 to 281. The European Union Parliament votes to recognize Snowden as an international human rights defender and ensured that he would be free from arrest within European borders. But of course, that wording is not
It has
accurate.
yeah.
But that's countercurrent
It has-
news. They're not the most reliable. So
no legal force is the term. So it's a very powerful suggestion. However, there's no way for them to enforce it.
it's basically like when a mobster goes like, hey, be a shame if if you were to extradite this Snowden guy. Be a real shame if something should happen to your country.
Countries get run off the road all the time.
Yeah, should be a real shame for you to experience some increased tariffs.
Was there anything that made them spur this meeting? I mean, did something happen to make it, or is it just like, it was, where was the last place this guy was seen?
Yeah, it's not very modern news, is it? Snowden's not been in the spotlight a while. Someone just like sat down and had a think, and they were like, you know what? Let's do it, guys.
I'm sure there was some stupid, shitty, fucking, 1700s wig process that went along with it. It lasted a long time.
Yeah.
And they just finally got to it.
There was a puff of white smoke in there somewhere.
Yeah, some fucking effeminate, robed bureaucrats.
Yeah.
Oh, Snowden, we must be very careful how we handle this.
Unless America's doing something to really fuck over the EU, and they're really grasping at straws to like, well, how can we fuck the U.S.?
Yeah,
because I've already heard that our government is like straight up fuck the EU, fuck them. We're going to fuck them, to get whatever we want.
Yeah, I was reading earlier today about the EU has slowly been kind of putting distance between itself and Washington, D.C., and the representatives of the United States, but not necessarily the people of the country. But they have slowly been leaning more in a Russia direction. And there's also rumors that NATO may be destabilizing as well as a result of people's desire to distance themselves from America. So
yeah, I don't know, dude.
it could just be a step in that direction.
We're losing popularity.
Exactly, yeah.
Although
And
that has been the prediction for a long time from some of the deeper conspiracy theorists that were out there, is that the U.S. is being set up to take a huge fall, and it's going to be the rest of the world that unites, and we're not going to have a choice in world government when it comes to us. We're not going to have nearly what our country is now to stand on and go, I have rights and blah blah. Yeah, well, when there's total chaos, you're not gonna have shit, and you're probably gonna go with whoever shows up with the most guns, and tells you what to do eventually.
Right.
Am I correct in my thinking that like Germany is really trying to work with Russia right now? Aren't they? Or
I don't actually know if that's true, but I was reading up today on the whole situation, and no, I can't speak to the Germany thing, but I understand a lot more about why people are saying the U.S. and Russia are basically fighting like a proxy war in Syria. you know, and
yeah.
and
Well, the thing. Go ahead.
I was just going to say Chancellor Angela Merkel has gone on record and says that they need to start
Chancellor
repairing their...
Merkel.
Yeah.
Stupid. Get a
but
better
she
name.
Sounds like a Harry Potter character.
She has been talking
Nice job,
about
shit name.
for the last couple of months trying to start repairing their relationship with Russia. So yeah, she wants to work with them more closely than they currently are.
Then who currently is?
I imagine
Germany and Russia.
Oh, sorry.
I imagine they're probably Germany is probably gearing up to take over the EU and work with Russia, because from what I heard is that there's Russian troops in Syria to fight ISIS, and there's a lot of refugees coming out.
Yeah,
from,
but at the same,
Syria. Well, hold on.
Sorry.
And that Germany is taking a lot of these refugees, and they're also trying to push the rest of the EU to take in a lot of refugees.
Yeah, I've seen a huge social networking campaign about that, about shaming the countries that won't take refugees.
Yeah, so I kind of feel like maybe Germany is trying to put the rest of the EU in a fucked up position in order to kind of claim dominance once again of Europe, and they may use the help of the Russians if they can get in good with them.
All right, but the situation is even weirder than that. I mean, I don't know. Actually, since I'm an idiot on that topic, do you guys know anything about the Germany angle or no?
No.
I don't know, but what Nate is saying makes sense, definitely.
Yeah, but I was just going to say, so, Russians are fucking around in Syria. The U.S. has obviously been fucking around in Syria and is probably responsible for ISIS getting as powerful as it's gotten, and then at the same time, Russia is apparently they have their version of the CIA, basically, right? The that FBS thing, is that
FBS?
Yeah, and which Putin was director of for years. And we got to get into that. Did you read through that stuff I sent you, Andrea?
Yes.
It's pretty interesting.
Yes.
So the FBS, according to a lot of people, has been engaging in programs to basically infiltrate, cells of jihadists and wherever. What is it? The North Caucasus Mountains, where they're having big insurgency problems in Russia. Yes. And they've basically developed an intelligence program to encourage these people to leave the country to go fight in Syria. And it's kind of like their tactic for not having to, supposedly what they say is it's their tactic for not having to deal with jihadists on their own soil. They're like, isn't it better to get them out of the country, and if they want to go fight in that shitty Middle Eastern war, let them do it. But a lot of other people are saying, now what you're doing is you're actually just problem reaction solutioning, like other major world governments do, and you're at one time feeding the jihadists in Syria and then posturing as though it's a big problem and a threat to your national security and stuff, and using that against your people, which they've basically, I've never heard anybody talk about this, but the evidence seems pretty strong that Russia has done all the same kinds of state terrorism and stuff like the U.S. has, in terms of being basically caught red-handed bombing apartment buildings and shit, and to drum up support against Chechen, what do you call them? Chechenian or Chechen or whoever, militants that that they're basically trying to pin it on them. Same shit as like the theory on 9/11. If you think that the U.S. is behind, or not the U.S., but whatever,
Zionist Jews.
The Jews, we're behind 9/11. It's the same idea. It's the same problem, reaction, solution kind of bullshit that happens over in Russia is here. And I was just reading up on that today, and I find it really strange that nobody talks about that. It's almost like the George Bush thing, with where he was director of the CIA, and then supposedly wasn't in the CIA for the 20 years before that. Well, he
Bush
was
Senior. You're talking about?
yeah, Bush Senior, where he was running for office. He was basically like a fall guy in a bunch of elections and stuff, and he lost election after election after election and kept running. Supposedly while he wasn't in the CIA, and then it surfaced later that he way more than likely was in the CIA.
He was just a
that entire time.
businessman.
But Putin was the director of this FBS in Russia. And then this bombing, I guess, for whatever his response was, it was a major media play where they said, hey, man, this guy is so great. We're going to appoint him to, I forget what the fuck it was. Maybe Andrea can find it. But, he gets appointed to some other political office and then was elected president shortly thereafter, like the next year. So this was basically his big, his big launch pad for political success. And he was the head of their intelligence agency. There you go. And if you can look into it yourself, Andrew, what's the name of this whole thing we're talking about? This apartment building bombing that this whole thing centers around?
I don't have the name of it. Hold on, I'll find it. But what I did want to say was one thing you also have to remember when you said, people don't talk about what Putin's been doing. You have to remember that their propaganda machine and media are so well controlled and so maintained by the government that it's rare that you get the full story out of there. There's only like 3 newspapers that exist in the entire country that aren't controlled by the government in the whole country of Russia.
Sure. And again, that's one of those things that you can...
If there's only 3, then you best believe they're controlled.
Right. And that's one of those things, too. You can look at that like, how fucked up that is over there. But if you look at our country, how many media companies are basically controlling all the information people get from mainstream news? And then how many of them have, just really thick webs within the government as well with their associates and family and all of this? So it's like, it's no different than here.
And the apartment bombings are just known as the Russian apartment bombings of 99.
Okay.
So that's how you can find them if you Google that.
You read through that shit, though, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Putin is he's a crazy guy.
That's what you got on that?
Well, you said a lot of the things that I was already thinking about it.
This is uncomfortable.
I'm sorry.
This is really uncomfortable.
There are other people here.
You giving up?
I'm sorry. I just rolled in from a place and I don't know anything about what we're talking about.
Awesome. Awesome.
Well.
Jesus, Andrea, I'm putting you. I'm really testing you here. This is. I'm not giving up on you. You're gonna say something good now.
I really don't know what to say.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're looking at another quote unquote axis of evil with the way things are going and shaping up. From what I heard as well, is England is actually getting tired of the EU and they may be backing out at some point.
Who's getting tired of them?
The UK, England.
Oh, okay.
Especially with everything with the refugees. They're getting what some people would consider racist. They're getting rather sick of immigrants or refugees, as you call them, and they're planning on backing out. Which, if that does happen, guess whose back they're going to have in anything that goes on in the world? Good old USA.
The old rebels from revolutionary times. Now the redcoats are going to come back knocking on our door for help.
Yeah.
Fucking stupid weirdos. I hate how they're from England and they just don't speak English well. It sounds really dumb when they do it.
That's really funny because we're the ones that really don't speak English.
Right, yeah, you got it.
It's good. But they sound fucking stupid. I hate the way they talk.
Well, okay, so what's going on? What else do we have on Russia, Andrew? We had a whole bunch of shit, didn't we?
Yeah, well, there was that plane crash that went down.
Oh, that was the whole thing,
the
yeah.
plane that went down in the crash, yeah. That apparently just started disintegrating midair, and they can't quite figure out why that would have happened.
You guys do this for a minute. I gotta grab a drink. Go ahead.
Okay. So it had 224 people on it. There were no survivors, and it crashed in Egypt, in an ISIS-controlled part of Egypt.
You said it disintegrated?
Well, it started breaking apart midair, and by the time it hit the ground, it was already in two pieces.
Oh, so it just like broke in the air.
Yeah, just broke apart. All 224 people died, and ISIS tried to take credit for it and tried to say we shot that down. That was us because it happened in an ISIS-controlled part of the country. And
wait, who owned the plane? It was a Russian plane, you said?
It was a Russian airliner coming back from Egypt.
What if it's just what if it wasn't a shitty plane and it was shot down by ISIS?
Wait, I was running back across the room and I panicked and I accidentally hung up on Nate. Now we have somebody new on the phone. Hello?
Oh.
Hello?
Who's this?
This is Matt.
Oh, it's Matt Bennett calling the show. All right, we have to take a whole nother turn. Were you guys actually being serious for a minute?
We were,
you gotta pick people off for me. I'm important.
Yeah.
We'll come back to it.
Yeah, sorry, Nate. I didn't mean to hang up on you. I just hit the wrong fucking button. Matt Bennett wrote the Drifter Diaries. He came on the show a few times a long time ago. We've had him on the phone a couple times. I always like talking to him because he's sort of one of these people that in a very simplistic and innocent way says profound things about life once in a while. Then he says some other dumb shit, and then he does a bunch of weird stuff, and then he calls in the show.
Pretty much.
All right. So what? Last time we talked to you, you were living in some motel and hanging out with a bunch of weirdos and telling us stories about that. What's been going on with you? Where you at?
I'm back at my parents' house right now, taking it easy and, getting away from the weirdos at the motel. So, gotta take some breaks sometimes when some weird shit happens. But no, weird shit always happens. It's life. It's how it goes. But,
Yeah, so what?
Go ahead.
What's been going on with you lately?
What's been going on? Well, I don't know. I had a weird occurrence where this guy and I were like going at it on Facebook for like a month.
So yeah, if I could interject, I'm asking you basically because I saw some of that on Facebook. I didn't really know what was going on, and then all of a sudden you disappeared for a week, and I figured you got thrown in the loony bin or something.
You guys are talking. You were having internet sex with this guy?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, what happened?
You said you were going at this guy.
Shut up.
This guy, I don't know. I had like this bad day, and then it escalated, and I guess I was a little drunk, and I guess I started like threatening him on like the messages of Facebook.
Well,
and,
yeah, I saw you posting shit like anyone who comments on this post, I'm gonna fucking kill you or something. And I was like, all right, Matt's having an episode or something. I don't know what's going on. But
yeah, no, sorry, the L was just going by. I'm waiting for Ian Anderson and Jethro Tull right now to do some autographs, make some money. But
oh yeah, that's what you're still doing the autograph thing.
Hilarious.
Right.
But at any rate, yeah, no, I don't know. This one night, it was a bad day. I was trying to get some jobs and shit lined up, and first my parents didn't like my plan, so I kind of I don't know, went to a park and flipped out, and then my buddy actually randomly was there, and I yelled at the top of my lungs there because I was really pissed, and then the Villa Park police. I'm just gonna explain the whole day. Like, first, like, the Villa Park police showed up, and they're like, are you guys fighting? They're like, someone called that you guys were arguing and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, no, I was just pissed because I got in a fight with my parents on job bullshit, and it escalated to yelling outside. And they're like, well, as long as you guys aren't arguing. No, we're friends. We're not arguing, blah, blah, blah. We're not going to hurt each other. So at any rate, so then later, I don't know, then I like got drunk with him because I was all pissed off about life. And I don't know, it escalated to this guy who was like pushing my buttons later at night. And the next thing I know, I guess I'm like literally sending him like some bad like verbal threats. Like, I'm going to kill you and you're a pussy. And he was saying some shit to me, and I just started saying some of the dumbest shit you could say.
Yeah.
And
we've all
hold on
been
one
there.
sec.
The L's going by again.
We have L delays. I apologize, but
No, that's cool.
Yeah.
So
like,
you
I don't know. Like,
you
so
threatened.
the next thing I know,
Okay.
like, he was like, I'm like, oh, I gotta go to bed, dude. This is stupid. I don't even like. He lives in my town, but I don't know who he is. But he's just fucking the hater of Matt Bennett, I guess. This is what it is. You have haters and fans, and when you put art in the world, you have haters and fans. That's how life goes, right? So, like, he's like, no, you're not going to bed. He's like, the Elmhurst police are going to be at your door. And I'm just like, what? What are you talking about? And so the next thing I know, they're, like, upstairs, like, in my parents' hallway, and I'm, like, talking to them through my bedroom door because it was closed. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, why are you here? Like, they're like, you have to come with us. They're like, you posted, like, threats to this guy about killing him and suicidal stuff. And I'm like, well, I explained to them later. I'm like, well, I posted suicidal stuff to save me from going to jail because I think this guy, like, wanted to arrest me and get me thrown in jail. So I beat the system and said I was suicidal, which I really wasn't, but it's just to go to the mental hospital instead. So, yeah, so then I went to the mental hospital for, like, 11 days. It was fucking crazy.
That's
and
a good strategy.
then, like, had to do, like, an outpatient thing, like, at Central DuPage in, like, Winfield, like, by Wheaton for, like, 2 weeks. So that was fucking nuts. And I don't know, they put me back on some medication. And I was trying, you're trying to explain your situation in the mental hospital, but they're not going to believe you because, we think you're suicidal and we think you're going to hurt other people and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I was just, like, trying to get out of the cops and, but they don't believe you. All these hilarious counselors and all this shit. So I'm in Westlake Hospital. I think they had that in, like, Melrose Park.
Keeps
so
going.
it was like a bunch of, like, I was like the only, like, well, no, there's one other white guy, but it's mainly just like a bunch of, like, hard-lived people, I'm not judging, I'm just saying. But, so, I don't know, like, it was really fucked up, like,
All right,
I had job interviews the next day, and instead I ended up in the fucking mental hospital for, like, 11 days, and, I don't know. Now I'm back in society and everything's like simmered down, I guess. So,
I had the same thing happen to me recently.
You did?
Basically, where, I found out my stupid cunt girlfriend was not my stupid cunt girlfriend anymore, and she was dating someone else. And, I went a little bit nuts. I did some things, and I made some threats, and I did the whole Facebook suicide thing as well. It was I don't know why I was drinking all fucking night when I found out it was 8 a.m, and I just went completely insane. And so I had to go to the place, but they let me out that day because I had such a traumatic thing going on that I was able to just say, like, hey, dude, come on. Like, this just happened today, so of course I'm going crazy. And they're like, yeah, all right, you can leave.
Right.
But, yeah, that place is fucking weird, dude. First of all, they take everything away from you and put you in a gown. And you're just laying there with, like, different people coming in and asking you questions. You're just like, oh, dude, what the fuck? Like, no normal person would seem sane under those conditions at all.
No. And then you have all these weird groups. I don't know. I had to go through all these weird groups and, like, I don't know. It was fucking nuts. But, and then they do, like, the check-in thing, like, every 15 minutes at night. That's weird. And then, like, the checking your vitals or, like, taking your blood. a lady will like barge in at like 5 a.m. and like she'll be like all pissed off and rude and like, I have to take your blood, and like you're just like, I just want to fucking sleep. Like, fuck you. Like, I don't know. So that's always fun and that kind of stuff.
Dude, I don't know how, if you're an actually crazy person, because I've known plenty of people that got committed for a few days. Like, to me, there's really no, like, social stigma about it as far as I'm concerned. I know that there is. You know, it's kind of interesting to talk about, but, you know, as far as, like, me and people I know, we never fucking give a shit when somebody gets committed. It just happens, you know. I've known plenty of people that have been in there. But if you were an actually crazy person who really, really was nuts, you know, which, I don't know, we all might be, but there's no way.
I saw some people in there that were like, I mean, they were really schizophrenic. They thought they had like superpowers. I mean, I saw real crazy.
So if
like,
you were right, and if you were like that, there's no way you're getting better in that fucking place. No,
it doesn't help you. No. I agree.
You actually have to be really strong to get through that experience and tell them what they need to hear and be patient and get the fuck out of there. That takes like amazing mental courage and strength, you know. And so if you're actually sick, those places, most of the time, I don't understand how anyone could get anything but worse in those places. You know?
Oh, I agree. And it's weird with social media. I was just going to say that, too, is how there's certain things you just can't post because you could get in trouble. And I don't know, when you find out the hard way, it's just really strange because you're like, yeah, but they're just words. Like, there was no action. Like, there was no action between me and this guy. Like, I just said words to him, and but the fact that the cops can get called to your house from Facebook, and I even talked to some people that I was playing cards with in the hospital. They're like, no, if you can't do that, we already know that one. And I'm like, well, yeah. I'm like, I know it. I'm just like, it's so stupid because it's like, what? They're words. Like, I don't know.
And
I don't know.
Not only that, but I was saying to the cops and the paramedics, and I was like, do you guys have some kind of confirmation on the IP address that was posted for? Because I'm telling you right now, I don't even have a Facebook page. You know, I was drunk as shit. I was just like bluffing, just like, I don't have a fucking Facebook. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Right.
And they're like, no, you gotta go, or we're gonna kill you. I'm like, all right.
Oh yeah, you can't. I know. I tried to talk. I had to try to talk my way out of it, explaining the situation, and they're just like, man, I know they're doing their job and all that stuff, but yeah, it's just like, no, you got to at least go for an evaluation, blah blah blah, all this stuff. Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah, the paramedics that picked me up were like, in their mid-20s and shit, and were kind of cool and whatever, and I was just like, I said to one of them, I told him what the situation was, and I was like, dude, just tell me how to get out of this fucking shit, please. And he's like, look, you know, just go. They're going to ask you a bunch of questions. He goes, tell them what they want to hear, and you'll be out of there today. Like, all right, you know. So why were you in there for so long? 11 fucking days?
Yeah, well, then what's fucked up is I have the kind of parents, too, that, like, oh, now they believe I'm, like, totally bipolar and this, you know, so they're all like, well, you have to stay sober for the rest of it, which is fine. I mean, it got me sober again. It's cool, but whatever. But
so you don't think you're bipolar?
So, I mean, it's always awkward living with a family that believes you're mentally ill when you're like, well, I don't even know if I really am, but maybe slightly, but not like, I don't know. But I've been a psychiatrist since I was like 13 because I have those kind of parents. There's something wrong with my kid. Let's give him a fucking pill, you know, but if he smokes pot, he's a drug, you know, so I have those kind of I'm not judging them. It's just how they are. So it's just it's always a weird, I've had a weird relationship with my parents my whole life, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate because it's just fucked up. So it's just like, I don't know, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think about the whole idea of being crazy? Because to me, it's a weird concept in the first place. First, you have to accept that there's one, you know, way that you should be, and that if you're off of that path too far, then you're dysfunctional. And I don't know if I even accept that whole concept, really.
Yeah,
you know?
I've had a big problem accepting all that my whole life, and then people just say, like, counselors or psychiatrists, oh, you're just being in denial. They're real quick to judge, and you're like, well, I don't think it's really denial. I think I just don't really know if I accept, like, that this is the path of life I have to live for the rest. For me, it's just like freak accidents that happen. And then everybody's like, well, that's because you're this way. And it's like, well, I don't know. I don't know if I can ever believe that while I'm alive. Like, I don't know. I think maybe I should just stop drinking and doing stupid shit. But, yeah, I get that. And, but whatever. Like,
you do have a tendency to repeat the same mistakes that I've noticed.
Yeah, I am one of those people, too, and I'm not going to deny that.
Yeah.
So maybe I do have a little, I think I got something weird going on in my brain. I'm not going to lie. I'm not ashamed of it either. It took a long time to, like, not be ashamed. When you're younger and shit, you don't want to admit, in high school it's hard to, like, after lunch, I'm the kid that has to go, like, take a pill in the nurse's office because I have ADD and I'm fucking nuts. Like, it's fucking weird, but I don't know. Like, I guess if medication helps, I don't know.
Do you think those medications as a kid fucked you up worse, though?
Yeah, I think it fucks you up mentally, like, because you use it as, like, oh, I'm, like, I have to take this medication to, like, focus or, I don't know, sit still or whatever. And I think it fucks you up, even in your 20s and stuff. And because it's just the whole, like, you're singled out and you're different. You don't function like the norms of society. I mean, everybody, I hate the word normal. I think a lot of people do, but, like, you don't function like a lot of people function, either in school or in the working world, so I don't know. Yeah, I think it does fuck you up, like, psychologically, yeah, like.
Well, it's basically, too, a lot of those stuffs, that stuff, when we were kids, had, like, amphetamines in it and shit. So I'm going to turn him down while the L's going by. But a lot of those had a lot of fucking scary side effects. I saw friends of mine who were socially normal people and probably would have functioned perfectly fine in the adult world if they had been left alone, but were put on those drugs because they weren't functioning right in a fucking prison, in a public school. And so, this kid doesn't like to be fucking trapped here all day learning useless bullshit. Let's put him on a pill that
he learns the useless bullshit.
So he learns the useless bullshit better. Yeah. And I saw a couple friends of mine affected really negatively by that, and one in particular got really strange for a long time. And just in ways that he hadn't been, real detached, and just weird. And I don't know, dude. I think that a lot of our generation got fucked up by that kind of treatment.
Well, I really do too, and I think I've said that for years. Like, I think a lot. Yeah, I mean, because, like, this is what I think about too. Like, older generations, I don't even know if there was this shit really diagnosed and had a name back then. So, and then all of a sudden, like, our generation or younger or whatever, now there's ADD, now there's bipolar, now there's this, and it's just like, well, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I think our generation just got kind of fucked.
Yeah, and I wonder what the long-term effects are of all that shit, because there'll be studies that come out 10 years from now that everybody that took these focus drugs, had some kind of neurological damage from it and shit, Yeah,
well, I mean, I've even heard psychiatrists, they've told me, oh, yeah, like marijuana, you feel normal on it if you have AD. I'm like, so what the fuck's wrong with smoking? Oh, that's, then it gets in that's substance abuse and that's self-medication and you're playing your own doctor and all this. And it's like, yeah, but my whole thing is, like, it's a natural plant versus, like, a pill that's, like, a pharmaceutical. I don't know. I mean, a lot of these pills, like, cure, like, your liver and this and that. I've done so much research on this stuff. Yeah. I don't know. So,
no, you're absolutely right. That term was always hilarious to me. You're self-medicating. When I was in high school, they always wanted to put me on antidepressants. And even then, I would explain to them, I would go, why would I be happy? Like, I have to go to work all day and not get paid. I have to go because like school is bullshit. I don't care what anybody says or how old I get. School fucking sucks. It's bullshit.
Oh yeah.
I would never do that to my kids. But I wouldn't. They're homeschooling if I ever can fucking get a girl pregnant.
Oh no, I wouldn't. Anything I've been through, if I ever have kids, I will never put them through this shit because, like, if anything, the anger that comes out of you, and just like the case of the fuckets that you get, is just like it's so high that it's just, and just even the numbness, and you just like, whatever. Like, I don't fucking even care about being alive because I have to do all this bullshit because people tell me this is how I'm going to function. It makes you, that shit makes you crazy on its own. So I don't know.
Yeah, being treated like a prisoner and a slave, you know, and I'm not trying to be over dramatic because we had food on the table and, you know, fucking girls that I liked and whatever else goes along with having like a relatively okay life, you know, when you're 14, 15, 16. But there was this other side of it where, you know, like we were kind of basically getting prisoner training in school and getting a shit education that we all had to fucking relearn once the internet got good. And then, you know, at the same time, then you start working at jobs because, like, okay, you want to have a car, you want to do this and that, and you basically start working at these little jobs just to get enough money just to, you know, cover your necessities and basic things you want to do and stuff, and then paying back like small debts and shit. And I don't know, dude, I just got indoctrinated into this slave prisoner fucking mindset of having to do, you know, what I was told and then generate a certain amount of wealth just to fucking pay for like some basic expenses and things that I wanted to do and whatever. Why am I going in circles? I don't know what the fuck I was going for here, but I feel like an idiot.
You, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess for me it just pisses me off because, like, why am I somebody? It's not even like the why. People like act like it. Oh, the poor you pity part. But it's like, why do I have to be somebody that has to take medication to function, and then, or I'm raised one way? You know, it's always pissed me off. I've always seen certain people raised this way, and then I'm like raised this weird ass way, and it's strict, but like they're caring and loving and all that stuff, and then people are like, well, at least you don't have like, you know, drunk, alcoholic, drug addict parent. And I'm like, well, yeah, I get all that, but there's still like a lot of pain and frustration, like going through all this way too. So I don't know. I think I was just trying to get at being disillusioned with life and not having been taught that I should be creating and making my own enterprises and stuff. Fucking job that you don't want to work to support yourself because so your parents are happy with all this dumb shit. And I'm still like, I still don't even care about paying rent, and I fucking don't, and I don't care. Like, it's fucking, I just want to create art and then die. Like, I really don't give a fuck. And it's very hard. It's getting easier because more and more people are realizing that as society's going on, that they should be doing stuff they like with their life instead of all this bullshit. Because my argument with all this is, why do all this stuff that you hate? And by the way, that stuff causes drug and alcohol addiction, working jobs. All this stuff does. I'm proof that it's all. There's millions of Americans that are proof that it is. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You get off work, I hate my life, I'm going to go drink a six-pack now, but do a line of blow, I fucking, you know, it's just like, I don't know.
I cannot go to work unless I'm stoned off my ass.
That's a true thing.
Yeah, no, I could never go to work without getting stoned either. Yeah, well, but that's when I started to go in circles and be retarded before. I really, that's what I was going for, is this just like, I just got swooped into this cycle of just working for other people and doing shit I hated just to kind of have like some basics that didn't even make me happy, you know.
Right.
And honestly, I wish I would have had some balls when I was a lot younger and just fucking learned to survive in the wilderness. And I wish I just lived in some awesome tree house right now and never had to see anyone again.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, what were you thinking?
I know. I was indoctrinated. I was institutionalized. Well, David Box, Andrea, it's so nice to have you here. You guys,
Yeah, thank you.
are you guys still on the show, or what's up with you guys?
Yeah, I was just gonna say I just did a meeting where they were talking about how they're gonna restructure high school in America, and I learned that the high school system is like 100 years old, and it was designed to prepare people for factory and farm work, and like down to designing the buildings and the classrooms, and like compartmentalizing people. It was all designed to for the industrial world, which was as that was rolling in.
You know how there's
and it hasn't changed since.
You know how there's like all different kinds of restaurants and all different kinds of theaters and any kind of place where some creativity might go on. You see all different types of them, right? But what always looks the fucking same? Government buildings, schools, churches. No, there's a lot of types of churches, prisons. You know what I mean? So I always get suspicious when every fucking building across an entire country for some reason looks exactly the fucking same. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I mean, kinda. But one could also argue that they're designed that way for like efficiency's sake, and that that's why trees all have a certain shape and everything too.
So fucking mass shooters don't have to work that hard.
Yeah.
We'll make them all in an L shape. It'll be easy to corral the children. Oh, no one we knew died in a school shooting.
Shooting kids. There's nothing like it.
Yeah. You guys want to come back and do some more shit that we don't understand and pretend we're smart?
Yeah, that's my favorite.
All right, Matt. Thanks for calling in. That was actually, pretty damn good call, I'd say.
Seemed pretty decent. So yeah.
Yeah, not bad. We'll talk to you soon. Where can people get your shit now? You got it out or what?
Wait, what are you saying?
Where can people get your stuff? The Drifter Diaries. Do you have it on?
I'm gonna like re-record. I had like the whole audio thing, and then these assholes that I let into a hotel room stole my shit. But
oh fuck, that's right. Hold on. You got robbed again. You got robbed again.
No, I'm gonna like re-record shit, and I guess put it on like I pretty much decided. I've been looking at all these sites like Amazon, iTunes, all this shit. It's not really music, right? It's like a podcast kind of shit. So I think I'm just gonna put it on like SoundCloud. I kind of made a decision tonight, so I'm gonna start re-recording. And then, I don't know, sell them or just get them out there, whatever. Shit. I don't even care at this point about making money off art, whatever. Just get it out there. So
how can...
Yeah, I'll have that shit. I mean, the book is still available for like Kindle for like 99 cents on like the Drifter Diaries Facebook page. But there is that. So
how can people find you, who might listen to this tomorrow?
Well, I mean, you could just look up Matt Bennett Show on Facebook,
or YouTube.
I mean, that's
yeah.
Or YouTube, all over YouTube. Just look up Matt Bennett Show. You can type it in on Google, Yahoo, whatever.
All right.
So easy enough like that. So yeah.
All right. Well, it was great having you again. We'll talk to you soon, Mr. B.
Right on. I'm glad you guys are still doing this. I like this. So this is good.
Cool.
Keep it up.
Thanks.
Thanks.
All right. We'll see you soon.
I like him. He's
right,
got an interesting story. Oh, sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
An interesting story. I want to offer to do a video for him.
Wait, I'm having a problem with the dial tone. Hold on. All right.
Wait.
Sorry.
Is it still here? I don't know.
No, the dial tone is just sometimes it's really out of control in here. You know how it bounces around. It's hard to fucking get a hold of. What were you saying?
Yeah.
Deebs?
Oh, I was just saying I like Matt Bennett's story. And I want to do a video for him, but I just know he can't pay me.
I know.
Yeah,
I was thinking the same thing.
So why do it?
I wanted to help him record the Drifter Diaries, but I don't want to do it for free.
And also, I never even seen a picture of him. I kind of just imagine him in like a burlap sack. And
No.
he's like dirty and smelly.
Like a cartoon of a drifter.
Yeah, and he's got like paper wrapped around his feet for shoes or something like that.
Dude, no, you should look up his stuff because I watch his videos all the time because they're like 8-second videos that he cuts off the first and the last word of, and it's like a weird rambling sentence that really is it's just the ramblings of a lunatic, but it's weirdly profound in some way. You know what I mean? Andrew, you've watched his videos, right?
Yeah, you want to keep watching them. It's not like you see one weird one and you're like, that's enough, guy. You like have to click on 10
No,
more.
you have to. We should play some of them later.
Yeah, we should. We've done this on the show before.
Have we?
The
Okay.
Matt
Yeah.
Bennett-
Andrew,
it's the
get
Matt Bennett
his
show.
get his Instagram or something ready.
Okay.
It's the Matt Bennett show on Facebook.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Yeah,
Nice.
You guys want to come back and do, I don't know, we'll do another hour or two, see what happens.
All
Shut
right.
up.
Yeah.
All right. Andrea, this is going to be a little weird because you guys were late and I had to rig shit up differently to take phone calls and stuff, and whatever. The music, you're not going to hear it. So you guys just mute your thing until we come back, all right?
Okay.
All right. We'll be back in a
How
couple
will
minutes.
we know when we're back?
Just 3 songs.
Can you not mute us? Is that what you're saying?
Right, because I'm going to have to play the music from the same computer you're on.
Oh, okay.
I see. Okay.
All right.
Bye.
All right.
Back in a minute, y'all. All right, we're back on the Overdose Talk Show. You guys here?
I'm here.
All right.
Dave's here.
Was Mig's son Daddy out of Savannah, Georgia. This dope sandwich label. A lot of
I
good
like
shit coming. Yeah.
You're a very well-mannered young man.
Yeah. Sorry. A lot of good shit coming out of that label. I've met those guys a couple times and worked with them, done a couple shows, and really, really impressed every time I come across them. So check them out. What's your favorite death video, David Box? We should do. Let's see if we can get some callers on this. The number to call in is 630-599-7827 if you're listening live. If you're listening on YouTube, leave us a fucking comment or a message or something. Andrea, where do they email us now?
Overdosetalkshow@gmail.com.
Okay. Overdosetalkshow@gmail.com. Get in touch with us.
They can also leave voicemails on the Skype number too.
Yeah. If you got music that you want played during breaks, no pop punk. We don't do that shit. Or, you got a topic you think we should look into, or you want to be a guest on the show, overdosetalkshow@gmail. And call in with your favorite death video.
That'll be the contest tonight.
Mine is still the Mexican chainsaw beheading.
I can't think of another one that I saw except for that one
Really?
when I watched it with you.
Oh my god. There's a bunch of them that are fucked up. I've seen
Yeah?
yeah, dude. I mean, Andrea, you don't watch this shit ever?
No, not ever. No way.
Okay.
The only death
Games.
video I've ever seen was the time when we watched the ISIS video of the guy burning alive in a cage.
That wasn't even real.
But we are not even convinced that was real. So
Okay, so
I listened to that Mexican beheading video.
Yeah, that was fucked up.
the Mexican chainsaw beheading video, that's pretty legendary. And if you're looking to see somebody get killed, and you can't get really much more killed than that guy got killed. So it's pretty
About as killed as you get.
it's pretty there, yeah.
What made the chainsaw part for me was much easier than the second guy who just got like a dull fucking knife for 15 minutes.
Yeah, no,
You know?
that's the majority of beheading videos that you'll see is them doing it with some fucking old shitty kitchen knife that hasn't been sharpened for 35 years. You know what I mean? It is like they just do it with like a dull weapon, maybe on purpose.
Yeah, I'll bet that's on purpose.
I don't know, but the chainsaw one is good. But I don't know, dude. I've seen cartels beat somebody to death with a bat for like 40 minutes, because they won't hit him in the head or like the stomach or anything to kill him. They'll just like torture him and hit him in the arms and legs and take turns, and like come in and out, and a bunch of dudes just fucking hitting him as hard as they can with an aluminum bat for, like I said, good 40 minutes, and then finally, doing him in with some head blows.
You talk about it like it's a painting. I'm having a hard time relating right now.
It's I don't get the same thrill from a Monet that I do from a good cartel beating,
Where do you even? I mean, where do they have these videos? You can't just Google it, can you?
Sure. Yeah.
Really?
Yes. Where do you think I find stuff? What are you talking about?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe
and then you find the sites that have them, and then you start searching within those sites for things.
Oh God.
You
You sure do, don't you?
Yeah. I don't know. Either you do it or you don't.
Yeah, I don't. I've accidentally seen people die before, and
When?
and I just, well, like in videos. And one time I saw that guy that got crushed by the dumpster. I've told this story before.
Oh,
Landed on his head.
In real life?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I just know
A dumpster landed on his head? Tell it again.
I was outside smoking a cigarette, and I heard a loud crash, and someone started yelling, "Oh no, oh no." And I walked around the corner, and there was a man lying on the ground with a dumpster on top of his head, and they were like, the truck had broken or the chain had broken. They were lifting it up to empty it out. And it landed right on top of him, and the other guy was like, "Oh my God, it landed right on him. It landed right on him." And then I found out like 3 hours later that he died. But yeah, I don't want to see that stuff. I'm not interested. I wish I could
That was how horrible this computer is. I tried to do that like 15 seconds ago when it made sense, and then I didn't think it would happen anymore, and I turned away, and it started fucking clapping. Thanks.
Yeah. Good work, guys.
Yeah, I could like watch any type of operation happen, like people getting cut open and getting their heart fixed and all kinds of shit, and even like wounded people with like their legs fucked up. But there's something about murder and like, it being on video that makes me squeamish. Like, it's like sinister gore makes me uncomfortable. But like, I've been in a surgical room when people are getting cut open and shit, and it's awesome. But like, people dying, I don't know.
You enjoy? See, like, I could never, I don't know. I could watch a million fucking snuff videos, and then like when it has to happen to me or someone else in the room, I'm like a complete fucking pussy. I could never fucking be like stitch someone up or be in a room with a surgery or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that stuff, and I like get a thrill out of it, kind of. But just watching a video of someone being murdered or something like that, it makes me sick. I don't like it. And not like it makes me sick the way that, the Zionist Jews make me sick.
Sure.
Like, I actually get like sick to my stomach. Screaming, the screams, man. They don't.
Yeah, when somebody's getting their head cut off and it's like that, like. And like, it's that, it starts.
Yeah.
That was pretty convincing.
Yeah, it starts as a regular scream, and then like
Made me uncomfortable.
and then they do this like while their throat's open. Oh, dude, that hurt my throat to do that. But you know what I'm talking about? Like when their throat's like wide open, and then they're making that like air sucking sound in and out with gurgling. It's just like, dude, fucking.
Yeah.
Stop
I know.
breathing.
Stop it.
Yeah. I know. Yes.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. Apparently, no one wants to call in about their favorite death video.
Oh, well. Did you guys know that there was a trial in
Good
Chicago
Good one.
in which it was revealed that the DEA was working with the Sinaloa drug cartel in Mexico while they rose to power?
Yes, I
This
already
was a
knew
long
that.
time ago. David Box, did you know about this?
No.
I didn't know about this until today. That's the El Chapo is in charge of the Sinaloa, and as they rose to power, there's a bunch of evidence that the DEA had meetings with their
Well, those are the
lawyers.
ones. They like combined a shitload of other cartels. They basically like took over a shitload of small cartels and stuff, and got everybody to join them, and then just started fucking
absorbed them.
killing
say-
everyone else who wasn't them. And that was what a lot of the violence on the border, is stemming from. Was we've talked about that before? How all the Mexican guys I knew were saying like, when this new president gets in, he's gonna do this whole like, consolidating of all these cartels and stuff, and he's going to start taking everything over. Like, they already knew. The word on the street in Mexico was already that this was going to happen, and
Yeah.
So yeah, they completely took over and started making deals with the U.S. and everything.
Yeah, big time. And there was kind of only speculation for a while, but El Universal, which is a Mexican publication, found some court documents that include corroborating testimony from a DEA agent and a Justice Department official that corroborates the story that the DEA had actually been working with El Chapo and his people.
El Chapo sounds funny.
He's the one who was arrested recently and escaped. He was arrested in 2014 and escaped May of this year, I believe.
Oh, that's a guy? El Chapo?
Yeah, he's the leader of this cartel.
His name just sounds like made up.
Well, it's a nickname.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. And he was
Someone did make it up.
he was the one that when he was in custody, he started saying, "Hey, we had all these deals,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
we're not supposed to be getting fucked with right now.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on?"
Well-
And they were providing information on other cartels to the DEA in exchange for basically getting their drugs through and running the border situation, I guess.
Yeah, they were informing in exchange for the power
Right.
and protection. But he got arrested and he was put in prison, and he escaped through that tunnel. If you don't remember, he escaped through a tunnel with a special motorcycle. It got to a mine shaft with a special motorcycle built to ride on the rails so that he could just get down the tunnel and then ride away on a motorcycle and nobody would be able to follow him because he was on a railway. And they said that had to have started getting built immediately as soon as he went into prison. They had to have started building that tunnel and connecting it to their already existing incredibly complex network of tunnels that ran underneath the city, Mexico City. But
Dude,
I mean, if that's
what a hilarious escape too.
yeah,
The best. That's
But
fucking
then-
There
awesome.
needs to be a movie about El Chapo.
I think there is.
well, and then they allegedly the DEA found information that had over 200 other planned escape ideas. Other things that they could have done that they had planned out and written directions for and had step by step how we're going to make this happen. And the motorcycle thing got beat everything else out, but they had lots of other plans in place that the DEA in America knew about before this escape attempt happened.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why I didn't know that there was this pretty much direct confirmation, that the DEA was basically clearing them to run drugs, because that was around the same time that the Fast and Furious thing was going on, right?
Right. It was right after that.
Yeah, and the ATF came out, sold 14, or not sold, but whatever, allowed the sale of 1,400 guns to Mexican cartels, which I think it was primarily the Sinaloas too. And then
Yeah,
they
and-
recovered one or a couple of them from a gunfight or some shit, and that was how that whole thing went down. But so it's the same, you know, it's the same people involved.
Yeah, and
But
it was
again,
actually
sorry to interrupt you again, but it's also just the same shit that we know is already going. It's just, yeah, we know the government runs the drug trade.
Yeah, usually it's the CIA trafficking drugs into the country, right?
Yeah, well, they've supposedly been, you know, done it for years to fund black ops and shit. But, you know, but they've used other branches of the military. Like, I think, what is it? I think, maybe you can look this up, Andrea, but, you know, in the 80s or 90s or whatever, they caught Air Force or Navy or whatever, probably both. You know, I think they just use branches of the military to kind of do the dirty work. And once in a while, like the ATF or somebody will catch like a military plane carrying cocaine and stuff, you know.
yeah. Let's see. I actually found a lot of stuff that about
It's
military planes, military vehicles using
Right.
traffic drugs.
Yeah, it's happened a lot of times. So if the CIA is at the head of it, yeah, fine. But they're, you know, they're pretty good at distancing themselves from controversy.
Yeah, well, and that's because they're self-funded. No one can say, well, we're paying for what you do, so you have to tell us what it is. They
And
make their own money.
They also, like, they don't really have to answer for how much money they have or what they do with it at all.
Right.
You know, or how they got it. So,
Yeah.
obviously, yeah, they've been making their money through the drug trade for a million years. We all know that.
Yeah. I was just going to point out earlier that the official reason for Fast and Furious was that the guns were supposed to be in exchange for information on other cartels. So even Fast and Furious was just a blatant informant setup, basically. Officially on paper. That's why they said they did it. But
Well, yeah, they said they were trying to. Yeah, well, but that's the same thing as this. You know, letting one cartel, you know, get drugs to the border and no others. You know, that's the same thing. They're going to go, well, they were giving us information and we're slowly making some progress in this drug war. Believe it or not, we really are. But we're just letting massive amounts come through on, you know. But it's just that's the bullshit controversial news story that it turns into. But it's really business as usual for somebody like the CIA who's behind it, who has, you know, who knows, dude. It's probably as weird as this. Things are probably so weird that the CIA employs people to work in other government agencies, you know, secretly and achieve their interests, you know, in those agencies as well. You know, the CIA is probably fucking everywhere.
yeah, absolutely. Well, we looked it up one time about how many people they actually employ even just in this country, and it's an absurd number. I mean, they have incredibly far-reaching hands in ways that I think most people don't even think about.
Right. So that's the whole thing is the news story is that it's this kind of surface level controversy, but you know, it's just another way to distract from the fact that this is just completely business as usual and what happens and what the CIA does all the fucking time and has always done, and they're probably behind it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I think you're right. Now, as you'll recall, we all remember the TPP, the Trans-Pacific Trade Partnership?
Yeah.
Now they're saying that due to that being signed and into effect, the Mexican drug cartels, specifically the Sinaloa, will be losing their power because they have created such a huge drug trade in Asia and in China especially. And now that there's going to be closer regulations and tariffs and more monitoring happening between American trading and China trading, they're not going to be able to sell as many drugs, and they're going to start losing their power, allegedly.
Fuck are they talking about? What? what is that supposed to? Because, all right, so I read into that a little bit, and supposedly, China supplies a shitload of the chemicals that are needed to make meth, I guess, and they're trying to say that cartels, which might be true, I'm not sure, but they're saying that cartels have moved into the business of meth over the past few years, way more than coke and heroin and whatever else. So that's the connection they're making is like, there was all the chemicals for these synthetic drugs like meth and shit like this coming from China, and now we'll have more regulation and we'll be able to teach them how to stop this stuff and work with us, and so I don't know, dude. Is the meth industry big enough to influence legislation as big as the TPP, do you think? It might be.
It might be at this point, yeah.
It might be that they, the powers that be had their fucking coke and their heroin markets all cornered for many, many years. But this other thing that, leaks through and, like, small guys can make it and make a bundle off of, if they could get that whole thing wrapped up, they might have a multi-billion-dollar industry in their pockets, where they didn't before.
Right.
But do you need to do that when you already control the big drug suppliers and they're going to be the ones taking control of it even after it's made and whatever? I don't know. I might be stupid.
Well, I think that meth kind of became a more glamorous drug than anybody ever expected. Just
although
based
nobody fucking knows anybody who does it. Like, everybody I know will do coke if you put it in front of them. Almost everyone. And, I'll do a bump of heroin once in a while even, too. I'm not going to shoot it, but I'll snort a fucking bump of heroin with you if you want to. You put it on the table, sure, whatever. We got nothing going on. I'll do fucking ecstasy, acid, mushrooms, DMT, whatever. But I'm not doing fucking meth.
No.
Like, it's not happening. And nobody I know will admit to doing meth. And I seriously haven't, though. I never have even tried it. And I love drugs. Do any drug. I don't give a shit.
Anyone ever offered it to you?
Once.
Have you ever been in the same room as it?
Yeah, once.
I haven't. I've never even seen it in real life.
Oh, no. I've been in the same room as it a couple times, but I've only been offered it once. And I was just like, I don't think so.
You didn't even consider it?
Nah, it just didn't look good. It just, I don't know.
Yeah.
It just didn't look fun. Like, thanks anyways. I was tempted for a second. Do I want to kind of like, do I want to do this? Do I want to fucking take this turn in life? Like, nah, I don't think I will.
Jesus, look at me. I'm smoking meth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just doesn't sound right.
That is, that's something you don't really come back from.
I've tried crack. That was fine with me for some reason.
It gets you really high.
It does. It gets really high. It really does. It's fun. It's just a lot like doing coke. It's whatever. It's fun.
Well, what I was getting at earlier with meth is that perhaps the meth industry grew out of control unexpectedly because it became popular and glamorous. Breaking Bad grew the meth culture. And actually, after the first season of Breaking Bad, the meth that was coming in from Mexico had increased its potency by like 80%. That's true. Yeah.
Is that true? I never heard about that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I will find the article. Not right this moment, but yeah. Once it started getting broken down more scientifically on Breaking Bad, people started looking at it differently, I guess, and they just became more committed to making a more Heisenberg-like product. And
you keep saying it like Breaking Bad. Like
Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Breaking Bad.
There you go.
Breaking Bad?
That sounds good to me,
Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad.
Breba.
Breaking Bad.
I don't like Breaking Bad. That doesn't sound right to me.
Well, on that show. But I am 100% certain that there are people who only became interested in crystal meth because of the popularity of that show.
What if that was what the whole TPP was about?
Well, it was just controlling the meth
industry. Yeah.
Because Bryan Cranston did too good of a job.
That guy's been, you know what? I am suspicious of him. He's a little too good in everything he does. Doesn't make sense.
It's true. He's reptilian.
So what else you got? Is that it?
Yeah.
Are we done?
That's all I understand about the TPP, so that's the best I can do.
Yeah, we did like a whole fucking 2 hours on it, and then I didn't remember anything.
It doesn't stick. It's too much.
I'd really just have to play the YouTube video again. Yeah,
it's like it's too big. You can't get your head around it, you know?
Dude, did you see that guy, though? Here's something. Did you see that guy whose car rolled on the highway, and he flew out of the car and smacked into a sign and died, and his body just fucking laid there? Like, you know what I mean? Those big green signs over the highway?
Like on the highway, yeah.
Yeah, that hangover. And he fucking rolls, and his body throws up onto there and just kills him instantly when he hits the sign, and then he lays on that fucking thing that the workmen walk around on. You know, that little platform up there?
Yeah.
The men that work. And, And yeah, like thousands of people had to drive by while he's just like bloody dead body laying there. I guess is that funny? I don't remember what's funny. I haven't left the house in a long time.
It depends on what he was doing before he got in the accident. If he's driving like a fucking asshole, it's
putting
hilarious.
lipstick on.
Yeah. If he's texting.
Yeah.
His high heels got caught up in the pedals.
He's driving along, putting lipstick on, stuffing his bra with pancakes. That's hilarious. He rolls. You know what I mean?
The other people he got in the crash with were fine. There was like 3 other people in the other car that he had collided with, and they were all fine. So he must have been doing something stupid.
Or they were.
He had bad aim, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, or really good aim. I mean, he did end up on the sign.
That was his suicide plan. How badass would that be? Dude, how badass would that be if they investigated this whole thing and then they get back to his like apartment or whatever and he has a detailed fucking plot of how he's going to roll his car and fling himself into a highway sign? You're like, dude, all of a sudden he's a hero. What the fuck?
Yeah.
This is the coolest guy who's ever been alive. And then he pulled the thing from Looney Tunes. It's a great trick, but I can only do it once.
Yeah,
he spawned a bunch of
himself with dynamite.
So a bunch of people are just flinging themselves at signs all over the place.
Dude, how great would this be if it was like planking or one of those fucking trends that everyone starts doing? It's just fucking highway sign, fucking roll fling.
Car launching.
Yeah, that's catchy.
Hashtag highway sign fucking roll fling. Andrea, make that a hashtag. Post that on Facebook now and explain it.
Okay.
All right. That's a hashtag now.
Yeah.
In honor of this man, we will.
Dude, I want to see for our YouTube listeners, start using that in posts. What was it again? Hashtag fucking. God damn it.
I don't know. I didn't write it down fast enough. It's a good thing it's recorded. We'll figure it.
It was hashtag highway sign fucking roll fling.
Fucking roll fling.
Yeah.
It's almost as good as. Okay, wait. Is it better than the one who decapitated himself by tying his neck to a fire hydrant?
Oh, I forgot about that guy.
For that guy?
God damn.
Tied a rope around his neck, tied the other end to a fire hydrant, and then put a brick on the gas pedal of his van.
Dude, that was the greatest thing ever. Though that was so good, and then he just yanked his own fucking head off.
Yeah, and that was like in the middle of a city too. That was like there was traffic.
The van just kept going. That was legendary.
It was that was pretty terrifying. Yeah.
What an asshole. That's
asshole or hero.
Well, I mean, depending on who's there when that fucking van with that headless body goes careening into you and kills you too.
What is what's wrong with you, David Box?
That's the spookiest thing that could ever happen.
Yeah, the guy's manslaughtering people after his head's already off his fucking neck.
Picture a girl with like a little girl in a dress with an ice cream cone, and the headless body just walks by and jugular spurts her all over fucking, and it's like strawberry sauce on her ice cream. She starts licking it seductively.
I didn't even think about the fact that corpse would just be spewing blood out of a big gaping hole. For some reason, it was like in a movie when there's a headless corpse and it's just like a neck stump.
It would just be shooting blood like a sprinkler
by the time
anyone that it drove past.
Yeah, by the time it got to somebody, you wouldn't be able to see them because there would be too much blood all over all the insides of the windows.
You just be like, oh, look, a bloody van.
Yeah, one of them bloody robot vans.
Hey, what is this? Sorry, go ahead.
What if at the end the fucking van rolls and then his body flung out and hit one of those big green signs, and then landed on the thing where the workmen?
Dude, let me ask you something, Andrea.
Okay.
What is this thing about Bill Maher that's in our Evernote?
Oh, remember the girl who got thrown across the room in the high school? We talked about it
because,
last week.
By the way, I don't like Bill Maher. Okay?
Yeah. Well, you'll really not like him for what he said most recently.
All right.
Which is that it's the parents' fault. Let's see. He says, I have sympathy for people in authority because I think parents just let kids do anything these days. It's overzealous policing and underzealous parents. So he's basically saying if the parents had taught that girl how to behave, that it never would have happened.
If her parents taught her to submit.
That fucking douchebag Jew.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty fucked up.
It is, right?
I feel like that's... I really don't like him either. He's kind of like bizarro Bill O'Reilly. Yeah, that was good.
That was awesome. Yeah,
Nice
no.
work.
I guess...
But sometimes he says something like... When he's talking about drugs, I agree with stuff that he said in the drug war. I'm sure,
right?
Like,
yeah, he gets
he's
that
on
kind
the
of
same
stuff.
page as that.
But then he's just so smarmy and fucking condescending about everything, and he typically does like 2 minutes of research and doesn't really know what the fuck he's talking about.
But he does typically side with police, and he's like an anti-truth movement person. If you talk to him about 9/11, like he hates it. He abandons rational conversation and debate and just turns into a fucking jerk. Yeah. Just like everyone that he fucking hates, He sucks.
Yeah, I generally can't really get down with him. But so what did he say about this girl at the fucking school, Andrea?
That was the comment that I read, the quote that he was commenting on that situation. That he has sympathy for the authority figures because he thinks lack of parenting is to blame.
New rule. If you don't want your kids to get beat up by cops, why don't you try beating them up yourselves?
Oh.
David Box, where's my applause?
Oh, here. It's coming right at you.
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
New rule. If you're black, stop complaining about being beat up by police. Get white, all right, please? Bill Maher is kind of a cocksucker, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
Totally.
Now, also, Raven Simone, who is black, supposedly, and is a cast member on The View, there's a petition now trying to get her removed for making similar comments about that young girl who got tossed around by the police. And she basically said if she had done what the officer told her to, then that never would have happened, and it's her own fault. And because she's black, everyone's like, "Oh, fuck you, get away! You don't represent black people. You don't get to be on this show anymore." But nobody seems to be taking that stance with Bill Maher because he's white.
New rule. If you don't think defiant teens should get beaten up by cops, then you should have to beat up defiant teens. All right? Do Do you like that?
Good one.
Thanks. That's what he does, though. He just like flips things around so they sound clever. Like,
I used to watch that show.
yeah, I know. It seemed good for a while. New rule. If you want to oppose cops for everything they do to keep you safe, well, then you should have to arrest a cop. It's always just some weird flip on a situation that makes no sense, you know?
Yeah, just word association.
Yeah.
Oh.
New rule. You don't like the school lunches? Well, then you should have to cook lunch for the whole school by yourself at home and not even bring it to them. And just eat all of the lunches yourself because you're a fat slob. Stupid idiot.
What an idiot. Hate him. Some cops in England are draining an entire pond in order to get back a drug stash that was thrown there by someone who was running away from the cops.
New rule. If you want to throw your drug stash in a pond, well then maybe you should have used all your drugs and then drank the pond water and then
Wow!
keep going. God.
So they ordered 80,000 gallons of water to be pumped out of the pond, and they recovered 150 bags of cocaine, street value 10,000 euros. Or actually, this says 10,000 pounds, but I'm sure they mean euros.
How much is that?
That's like close to $15,000. And it just happened like the guy was running past. He threw it all in there, and they were immediately like, pump the pond. And there was like just a bunch of families around just standing there watching.
I think that's a good call.
Do you?
If it was a small bag of Coke, this would be a really funny story. But that's a lot of money. How big of a pond are we talking?
80,000 gallons.
Why? Is there nobody who can just like throw on a scuba suit and just go grab them? Though, like what? Yeah, was that the most efficient way?
New rule. You want to pump $80,000? What was it?
80,000 gallons.
80,000 gallons of water out of my pond to find some drugs? Well, then here's the deal, smarty pants. I get to drink your bathwater after you're done, and then vomit it all over your nice living room carpet.
I like that rule, actually.
I swear, dude, his things they really just make no sense. That's not that far off. Oh my god.
Oh, wait, hold on. The pond was only about 2 feet deep, and they still pumped all the water out of it.
It was to save all the fish from becoming addicted to the cocaine, Andrea.
The fish is a 2-foot pond?
Yeah, and then they trapped the fish and relocated them in a local forest preserve. They just took a pickup truck and just dumped them in the woods.
No,
The trees.
they're all incarcerated right now.
Yeah, for possessing the cocaine.
They're free labor in a prison.
Who are? The
fish.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, I just wasn't following you there.
Damn it.
What else you guys got?
The cops also pulled over a young lady for drinking coffee while she was driving.
Oh, good.
Shit, is that not okay to do?
Apparently not. She was pulled over. This was in St. Paul, Minnesota. And the cop pulled her over and said, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" And she said no. And then he told her that it was against the law to take a sip of coffee while driving. And the girl thought it was a joke. And the guy was like, "No, hell no, it's not a joke." And he ticketed her for it. For drinking coffee while you're driving.
I gotta say, I'm not in support of that.
Was she black?
If they
Yeah.
were here today.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, was the coffee black?
Probably. That's the only reason that this would have happened.
Yeah.
Is that the whole story? She got a ticket for drinking coffee?
Yeah. And then she also got a ticket for not wearing a seatbelt, even though she said that she took her seatbelt off after she got pulled over.
Why
This
would she
just-
do that?
Why would she take off her seatbelt?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe to dig around in her purse.
Oh, I don't know.
But this just happened, so she plans to fight the ticket. I guess. I don't know what the fuck, if that's a law, what are you supposed to do? But how could that possibly be a law?
I would have to think it'll get thrown out, maybe. I don't know. There's a lot of things that they just don't. They just don't really care what the law is, and they just fine you with something. You know, I've had friends that went to court with some really slick lawyer, who was able to point out all of the ways that they basically violate the law constantly in a courtroom. And it's a very rare lawyer, I think, that's really willing to do that. But I've definitely been privy to some cases where judges and prosecutors basically had no idea what the actual process was supposed to be, and they were charging people with the wrong codes, and everything, and the wrong crimes, and basically making all kinds of clerical mistakes and shit like this. And really, it's pretty. Why? Help me out here. I'm fucking sputtering because I'm trying to fix a computer while I'm saying this. But where was this whole thing going?
I'm not sure.
Courts are dumb.
Courts are stupid. I think I was trying to get some really good point there, but
Lawyers that can get things thrown out just by pointing out things that happen all the time that are unlawful.
It's like, can you get me out of like a murder trial just because everything in the world is so arbitrary?
What?
Someone's drinking.
huh? Do you hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that?
I don't know. It's time to take a break. Somebody's on the line, but we have to take a break really quick. But I'm not sure who it is. Hello?
Hey guys, it's Melinda.
Oh, hey, Melinda. How are
Hi,
you?
Melinda.
Hi.
We were about to go to like a quick, 8-minute break. Can you hang out?
Okay.
And we'll come back and talk?
Yeah, sure. Do you want me to call you back?
Either way, you can just hang out on the phone or come back in, 8 minutes.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, cool. Thanks.
Okay.
Bye. All right. What do you guys want to do during the break?
The Dodge brothers would be in love with the power.
Son of a bitch. Sorry. What do you guys do during the break usually? God damn it, dude. Everything's bad. Hold on. Sorry. Here's what happened. You guys were not going to be here, I thought, so I set the computers up backwards, and now I'm all confused.
Wow.
So I was trying to use a different computer for phones. All right. I'm sorry about that.
All right, that's okay. We'll make it through this.
So what do you guys do during the break?
Usually I pee and I eat something and I stand up because I can't stand up at all during the show. That's about it. We kind of don't even talk to each other too. We save all of the talking to happen on the show.
I stare at a wall.
Yeah, Dave literally does nothing.
I just blank out.
Mute
Yeah.
yourselves. Mute yourselves. It's a break. We'll be back on the Overdose Talk Show. All right, you guys back? Andrea,
Yeah, we're here.
Deebs.
Underdogs, y'all.
Yeah.
This stupid fucking computer, every time it finishes a WAV file, it starts playing it again. It's
What an
bullshit,
idiot.
Andrea.
It is bullshit.
So, I don't know if Melinda's going to call back in. I think she is. But
I hope so. We barely talked to her.
we all remember Melinda from her interview she did about her brother Joey, who was killed by the Utah, whatever the hell, Salt Lake City police.
Mm-hmm.
And she has been trying ever since to get some kind of justice, you know, some kind of fucking even acknowledgement, I would guess, you know, from the local law enforcement of what happened. And I thought we could get an update from her. She wants to call back in, but you remember the whole thing.
Yeah, I remember it all. I'm sure our listeners remember most of it too.
Yeah, this is the guy that had the diabetic incident and slow speed chase, and then the cop pretty much just like ran up to him and shot him.
Yeah, we kind of chose this case to stick with because it was so clear cut. It was so ridiculous what happened.
There's a video, right?
Yeah, the dash cam video shows everything. If you look up Joey Tucker dash cam video on YouTube, and it's just cut and dry. Like either you're a bootlicker or you're not. If you see this video, and you cannot deny the just absolute brutality of what happened. You know, you can't.
Yeah, there's no question.
You can't get around it. The cop just runs up and shoots him for no reason.
Especially when you hear that it was a slow speed chase with like
right, and he ran off the side of the highway, and his vehicle was like immobilized, you know, and they said he was trying to run them over, and he was just sitting there, you know, completely still when he ran up.
He was in reverse.
No, I don't think he was.
When
was
they
he?
removed his body from the vehicle, it was in reverse.
Right, yeah, he was trying to get away from them. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe Melinda will call back and talk to us a little bit about that.
Is there still something that you can donate to her cause? Because she's trying to raise funds to pay for the court appeal. Isn't that what's going on?
Well,
yeah, she has a GoFundMe. Go ahead, Vinny.
She'll probably tell us about this, but they had some people that were supposed to they were like hotshot lawyers that said they were going to help him out, that she was trying to raise money to pay the bill for, I think. But I don't think it worked out.
Oh, is the GoFundMe no longer there?
I don't know. Why don't you check it out?
Yeah.
Well, hopefully she'll call back. But that was
hold on.
That was a real sad case, and Melinda's always been so good to talk to on the show.
Yeah, it's I don't know. We do so much fucking, you know, comedy and messing around and shit and all that stuff that like then we do a thing like this once in a while, and it's hard to know where to go from it. I'm trying to find her number so I can text her. Let's see if she's gonna call us back. Hold on. 801.
You weren't expecting her to call. What were we talking about? We were talking about cops right before this.
Oh, were we?
Yeah, I think so.
Andrea, come on. Lead us out of the fucking weeds here, would you?
Yeah, I was just wanted to find the GoFundMe, which is still there. So I'll share that with everybody. Justice for Joey Tucker on GoFundMe.com.
Hold on. I'm calling Melinda. You guys take it for a minute.
All right.
Well, hopefully the lawyer thing didn't follow through, but you know lawyers.
Didn't fall through, you mean?
Didn't fall through. Yeah, sorry.
Hopefully it did follow through.
Hopefully it is following through, yeah. Sorry, my mistake. But I wonder what kind of, if like a scumbag lawyer might hear a case like this and then just be like, oh, I'll squeeze a couple dollars out of this person, and knowing that it might not even go anywhere.
Yeah.
Or that it probably wouldn't.
Well, and it's also kind of weird because in my experience, the lawyers that are able to really get things done kind of do it based on personal relationships. And they say to the judge, hey, man, you know me and you'll help me out with this, right? And if they're in that network, what is to motivate them to do that, to call in those favors to to harm somebody within their own system. You know, I feel like if they were really dedicated to working hard and getting it done, they'd do it for free. It's a case of compassion. I'm surprised that nobody has.
Yeah, that's an interesting point.
Well, because they know how hard it is. The new DA that she tried to talk to about it, and the names aren't fresh in my memory or anything, but basically just sidestepped her and gave her no fucking results whatsoever. No. It basically even told her, I don't want to overturn the previous DA's decisions. Like in terms of like it's kind of a political thing. Like I just don't want to get involved in that.
Well, he needs to keep up an image,
Yeah.
And if the previous guy was popular, how are you going to look if you're undoing his shit?
Or
and I'll bet there's
even just what kind of a world that is. Like everybody knows each other, everybody has social influences over each other, you can make each other's jobs harder and shit like that. So if he's afraid to overturn the previous guy's thing, it could be because he still wields some influence in that world,
Yeah. Or he's afraid he's not going to get invited to his annual picnic.
Yeah.
Where they all jam in the backyard.
They'll start alienating him.
A bunch of dude. And the worst thing about that is they probably listen to like Bob Marley too at their barbecue.
Dave Matthews.
No, they don't listen. They take turns playing Bob Marley songs on an acoustic guitar.
Yeah, they just pass it around.
That's what you think all the judges do?
I've gone to similar parties where rich people have like done video for old people throwing that party. That you're describing.
I was at a wedding one time, like a couple years ago, with the cunt, and she had like a bunch of like she went to law school and she had a bunch of fucking like douchebag friends that were in the law profession, and I was smoking a blunt because nobody would smoke weed with me all night, and finally I'm like, I've had this blunt. I thought this was a wedding. I thought people wanted to get fucked up. And
isn't that what you do?
I've been carrying it around all night. So I start smoking it in front of the hotel, and everyone that's coming by, I'm like, hey, you want to hit this? And everybody's like, no. And this one guy, I'm like, here, come on. And he's like, I'm a district attorney. And I was like, so what, you never smoke weed? He's like, no. And and we had this whole exchange, right? And then it ended up, I never said this on the show before. He ended up prosecuting my DUI at first. And then I had to tell my lawyer about that whole thing, and then he got the prosecutor changed because we had like social connections.
Oh. Because you had to.
Yeah, well, I was like, dude, I offered this guy weed. Like, this guy's prosecuting my DUI, and I like tried to pressure him into smoking weed one time in front of a hotel.
After he told me about what he did for a living.
Yeah, and then I was like, come on, so what? And I tried to make him smoke weed, but he wouldn't. Like,
ooh,
that's
man.
That's not gonna bode well for my case here, I don't think. Do you think we could do anything about this? He's like, dude, you're an idiot. All right.
Yeah, that's not. If I was smoking a blunt and I offered it to someone and he was like, oh, I'm the district attorney, I would be like, and I don't know how I would make that sound at the time.
Yeah, that noise would just start coming out of you.
Yeah, I imagine I would just open my mouth.
That's how I pictured it, yeah.
right in his fucking ear. Blowing out his eardrum, and then I run away.
I'm the district attorney.
And then I'm on to the next district.
To find their attorney.
Dude. Just fucking scream that alarm in his ear and run. That'd be the best. That's what I should have done.
And as I'm doing it, that smoke from that blunt is just wafting into his face. It's brilliant.
All right. Remember how Johnny Depp is buying the Wounded Knee battleground to give it back to the Sioux Indians?
Nope.
Yeah.
Well, he is. And I was like, why doesn't anybody else do that? So there's a man in California who is giving 700 acres of his family land back to the Pomo Native American tribe, whose ancestors lived there up until 150 years ago.
You know what? I never fucking heard of them.
No,
No, have you?
no.
And I was recruited. I remember I said this on the show before. I was recruited when I was like 18 by Native American tribes to be a hunter.
Yeah.
But I decided to go to college instead. Everybody knows about that.
Was it just like you were recruited by general Native Americans? Was it
A bunch
can't
of
remember what
there was
it
like a
was.
bidding war for contracts. A bunch of tribes wanted me. I was good. I was strong. I could run fast. I was good at hunting. I hated.
How did they find out about you though?
They have scouts. They go out to schools and stuff. They send an Indian out to watch like sports practices. And I was big in sports, so they wanted me.
Wasn't it awkward because you were like, white?
No. That's the thing is they don't care anymore. They'll draft anyone. They're over the whole kind of the race thing. They'll pick the best and brightest white kids to be in the tribe these days.
Oh.
And they'll offer some big contracts too.
It's about time.
So I almost played pro Native American life. But I never heard of pomos.
Yeah,
So
well,
these-
apparently they weren't very big. I mean, they're only getting 700 acres back.
And they're getting everything back.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know if that was everything they had, but it's coastal land, which apparently is the most important part because they were a coastal tribe.
Okay.
And then they were pushed away from the coast and into an area that had no access to the ocean.
This fucking guy who's giving the land away, he's only doing it because his wife has a huge crush on Johnny Depp. And they probably haven't had
Yeah.
sex in years.
And she's like, we need to get Johnny Depp's attention.
I like how it kept saying in the article like where their ancestors once hunted and fished and slept. And it's like, yeah, we know what
Lived free.
yeah, it's like they have to over-explain it to you because it's this grandiose like Native American returning to their, it's like, but the article that I read just kept going into this like really kind of patronizing, where they once walked the land, hunting the bison and fishing in the rivers. Like, yeah, we know what they fucking did.
The best that the savages could do.
Dying of disease and
Right.
shitting in the woods.
Well, this restores their reservation it expands their reservation to 18 times its current size. So I'm sure it's nowhere near what they once had. But
When the Native Americans show up, that guy's going to be dressed like a pirate.
They're getting some good shit though.
Drinking up.
That's way better than what?
why is he going to be dressed like a pirate?
Because he's Captain Jack Sparrow.
Oh, okay. Because he's pretending to be Johnny Depp.
When they
so
show
that
up
his
though,
wife will finally blow him.
when they show up, there's going to be free blanket stands everywhere.
Yeah.
It's fucking, we'll
No
get 'em-
tricks.
We'll get them eventually. They show like millions of pomos just show up to see just free blankets. Like,
They're going to fly some bison in.
I don't know. Looks a
Oh.
little suspicious. New rule. If you listen to the Overdose talk show tonight, then you've got to listen to the Overdose talk show this Thursday too. We'll be back Thursday at 7, right?
Yeah. Yes. I don't think David Box is going to make it for this show.
You're not going to be here? All right, we'll get a guest. We're doing a guest Thursday.
We will have a guest Thursday.
Things are going to be interesting. Did tonight's show suck?
No.
No.
No, you don't think so?
No.
No.
Remember when Matt Bennett was here?
Yeah, that was good.
in his burlap sack, in his onion bag.
Just hopping next to the railroad tracks.
Yeah, I'm gonna share
picking up cigarette butts.
I'm gonna share his Instagram page on our Facebook. Matt
Yeah,
Bennett
watch
Show.
some Matt Bennett videos. It's weird.
It's really worth your time.
We'll do some of those next time too. Write that down, Andrea.
All right, cool.
I don't know what happened to Melinda, but we'll talk to her soon too, I guess.
Yeah, maybe we can talk to her on Thursday. It is her birthday.
Yeah, that's right. Happy birthday, Melinda.
Happy
I
birthday,
forgot.
Melinda.
She's probably drunk.
Yeah, well, she tried.
Um,
We shouldn't say that. We don't know if she even drinks.
She's waiting for us to call her.
Yeah.
okay, new rule. You guys shut up and the show's over. Bye.